Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Rebels head coach Terry Hoese. Coach,
Tyler,
how's it going?
it's going good. Going well.
I'd say it is. You're continuing to win.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you got to be happy when you continue to win. We sat down here last week, talked about how you had a little bit of a double-digit winning streak going on. You've carried that winning streak into this week now with two big conference wins over Johnson County and Hampton. Before we get into the Hampton one, I want to get the Johnson County one out of the way first before we talk about just how big of a win that Hampton one was here last night at home. So take me through the Johnson County win that you had last week, 80-66.
Played pretty well. We used our size, and the Gamble kid had 33 up there. So definitely a situation where our size was huge for us. Crazy atmosphere.
Always.
They've not been in school. It was snowing on the way up there. Wasn't sure if we were going to get there. Went ahead and played. But I think the entire town was in the gym that night. So it was a good atmosphere to go play. And I knew going up there, they'd be prepared. He had his kids playing well. And, we had to fight to the end. So it's a good win on a tough road trip. So very happy to get that one out of the way.
Talking about Johnson County a little bit more also, I think I'd mentioned that the ball was kind of in their court to control what they wanted to, because in this final home stretch, I think they hosted West Greene last night, and then I believe they still have to host Hampton left on their schedule too. So at the halfway point, they still have the top three teams still to play at their own gym, and even though they lost one to you all last night, they picked up a win over West Greene last night, and they still have that Hampton game that can shake things up.
Yes.
So it's kind of going in a way how you would have expected, because you don't expect Johnson County to probably lose all three of those at home. You probably expect them to win one of them, and they got one out of the way last night, so they're still creeping back there ready to shake things up.
And glad they got theirs without us. So like I said, it's a tough place to go play, and if you don't go full strength, and I know West Greene went last night not full strength, so Johnson County's playing well. They shoot it well. They play hard. They've got some kids that can get to the bucket. Post player that's really good in transition and plays hard. So they've got pieces. And the little Atwood kid, I say little, I shouldn't say little. Atwood's son, Carter. We went boxing one on him, and he still had 28. I mean, he was making shots from the from the half court line. So. And I'm not exaggerating. He literally crossed half court and stuck one with me with a kid on him. So they're capable of beating anybody in our league. So our hope right now is that we can finish out. We've got 3 left, and maybe Johnson County upsets Hampton right here, and we get that number 1 spot by ourselves. So that's kind of our hold to right now.
And that would work in your favor tremendously after last night too, after you beat Hampton 55-47 here at home. Closing into this final stretch, I think if you marked down all the conference games left, you would have probably circled you and Hampton as the most important, considering that was probably for the number 1 spot, knowing that if you could win, you would tie them up top. If they would win, then they would pretty much lock up the number 1 spot in the conference. You got that win last night. You're both sitting at a tie for first place now. Talk about how you got it done last night.
Offensive glass. I think we out-rebounded them 30-something to 15 last night.
Always helps.
And a lot of that was on the offensive glass. We got a bunch of easy putbacks. Early in the game, moved the ball really well, had a bunch of kids taking layups off of backdoor cuts and off of straight drives. Got a lot of easy buckets, and built a pretty decent lead there. I think we were up 16 going into the fourth quarter, and we needed it. I think we put up 5 points in the fourth quarter and turned it over several times after they had something to do with that. They got after us in the full court, and we didn't handle it very well. So it was a good win for us. Hampton's good. They've got kids that can shoot it all over the floor. They play hard. They've got a post player that can finish in the post. I told the boys after the game was over, we've got to figure out something to attack their press, because I expect we'll see them again at some point. So, it's a good rivalry between us, and I don't think either team has swept in the last 3 or 4 years. So,
I know the last 2 it's not been the case. So, yeah, you'd have to go back and look the last time that has happened. It has turned into a really great rivalry, though.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's a shame that they will have to drop down next year and it loses kind of that conference feel next year. But even before they joined your conference 3 and 4 years ago, it was still a great rivalry, and they were always great games.
It was, and they asked me last night, the girls' coach stopped me after the game was over, and he said, "Coach, are we going to continue to try to play?" And my comment to him was, we always try to play good people. And we like those guys up there. They're good people, genuinely. Their fans are rowdy. They're rowdy for a reason. They want their kids to play well. They want their kids to win. It's a good atmosphere every time we go there, and every time they come here. Even the gym was packed last night, and it's just always a good situation. It's not anything in bad taste from fans. They're behind their kids, and our kids are behind our kids.
Very passionate.
It's passionate basketball. So anytime you can get that, whether it's conference, non-conference, my expectation is we'll continue to play until one of us don't want to. So there we go.
I asked this question the last 2 weeks, and I think I have to ask it continuing down the road until we're finally in the district tournament now. But you're 7 games in now. We had talked about it last week that we could be sitting here next week with you tied at the top spot with Hampton, and you are now with 3 games left. What's it kind of feel like now with the rest of the conference slate ahead of you?
Well, it takes a lot of pressure off for one. We've got 3 games left. You hope you can win all 3 of those, and I feel like we should win all 3 of those with the way we're playing. But if we do slip up, if things go the way they're going and Hampton wins out and we win out, we're still going to have the number 2 seed. Mm-hmm. So last night was important. It gives us a share of the championship if both teams win out. But it does still give us that hope of getting that number 1 seed if somebody slips up and beats them. But on the flip side of that, it kind of takes a little pressure off us. If we slip up and lose 1 or so, I think we're still going to wind up in that number 2 slot. So hopefully we can finish this thing up, and hopefully, like I said, somebody can step up and beat Hampton and give us that 1 seed. But if not, we'll do what we need to do. We made our bed by going up there and getting beat. So we'll see what happens. But you always want to win them all, and hopefully we can finish it out. But I do know West Greene's very capable of beating us, and you still got Happy Valley and Chucky Doak, and in any given time, I know Chucky Doak played Hampton tough last week, so you just never know at this point. It's like I've always said, it's boys basketball. You don't show up one night, you'll get beat. So we've got a long way to go. One
game that you can win to solidify yourself in that number 2 spot regardless is the game against West Greene this Friday. Before we talk about it too much, though, as always, we need to get a word in from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back to talk about that West Greene game and the other 2 games that South Greene has here on Grassroots Media.
For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show, where we cover everything on the court with the South Greene Rebels basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with South Greene head coach Terry Hoese. So, sitting at 6-1 at the moment, tied atop the conference standings. You got West Greene and Happy Valley in this week's slate with a non-conference game at home against Cott County sandwiched in the middle. You go to West Greene on Friday, and then both those games, Cott County and Happy Valley, are at home on Saturday and Tuesday. So, take me through this 3-game slate that you have from now until next Wednesday.
West Greene's an important game. If we can go to West Greene and win, that locks us into that 2 seed no matter what, and still gives us an opportunity maybe to sneak in and take that 1 seed. So Friday night's extremely important. I know West Greene is playing well. They beat Happy Valley by about 40 last week, and they're very capable of beating anybody, especially on their home court. It seems like they play much better at West Greene. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It seems like we struggle when we go to West Greene. We've never really went down there and played super well. So hopefully we can get in there and get done what we need to get done and keep it rolling. You come in on Saturday with Cott County, 3A school. They're winning games, big physical. We've played them already. We scrimmaged them in the preseason. We played them in the Hardy's Classic. Then we turned around and played them in the Big H Classic. So we've already played twice and scrimmaged once, so very familiar with each other. So Saturday will be a battle, I think, for both teams. Both teams should come in very well prepared, knowing what each other's going to do. So Saturday will be a fun game to come to. And then we finish up there, that little stand on Tuesday night here against Happy Valley. We're able to go to Happy Valley and win fairly convincingly. I think it wound up just a little less than 20. We got up in the 20s at one point, but you never know about Happy Valley. Man, they can play some people's tails off, and then you look up and then they're getting blown out. So that team you never know about. That's kind of scary. You don't know which team they're going to have show up. If they bring their team that can play, they may give us a tough time in here on Tuesday night. So next 3 are extremely important for us. Obviously, the Cott County game has no bearing on the standings, but you want to continue to play well and win. But Friday night and Tuesday night are huge.
Absolutely, and coming down to this final stretch, too, by the next time we sit down, we'll only have one more conference game to talk about. I believe that would be Chucky Doak. Refresh my memory, there or here?
No, it is here.
It'll be here, so that last game against Chucky Doak will be here. So it's crazy how fast this schedule flies by. You get into January and it seems like it flies by so fast.
We were talking about that, even Dr. Wilhoit and I earlier. That fall semester kind of seems to
creep by.
Go at a creep pace, and then you get to January and you look up and it's May and you're having graduation. So January has flown through with basketball. It doesn't seem like we've played hardly any time, and here it is, the season's about over. So you start playing 2 and 3 a week, and it goes quickly. You play those first 2 games of the conference before Christmas, and it makes the conference schedule seem like it takes forever just because you don't play any games for like 4 or 5 weeks after Christmas or up through Christmas break. But once you start back into conference in that second half, it flies.
I think it was almost an exact month. It was almost an exact month for you all. You played December 13th, and the next time you played a district game was January 14th.
That's crazy.
That's crazy how many days. And even throughout the whole entire district, it was from December 13th to January 9th that the first game was played, and that was Hampton and Johnson County. So it's crazy how you take a month off between district games, and then after that you've got 2 a week, sometimes 3 if you've got to reschedule due to weather and postponements, and it flies by all the way up till the point we're at now where we've only got 3 games. The next time we sit down and talk, we may pretty much have who plays who in the tournament already set.
And very, very well could be, depending upon how these next couple of games come out.
And I pretty much talked about everything I've got with basketball, unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, that's it.
Hey, the Cowboys hired a head coach.
I think all of America knows what I'm thinking right now. So you got an opportunity to go out and get whoever you want, basically. And I'm not throwing Schottenheimer under the bus yet. Give him a shot, but I think we could have done a much better job. So
you'll throw Jerry Jones under the bus.
I will throw Jerry Jones under the bus.
Was he in-house?
Yeah, he's been there, and that I will say this, that goes to say a little bit of something for the organization. He's been there. They know what he brings, and maybe they see something that nobody else does, because he was kind of one of those guys that was kind of behind the scenes. So he may turn out to be the real deal. Who knows?
Who knows? It's the Cowboys are crazy, though. I mean, it's kind of the same situation as last year or this past offseason, where you've got Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry on the running back market, and you sign Ezekiel Elliott again.
Yep.
And then you've got
Saquon's went and set a career. So
yeah, and then you've got Mike Vrabel, and you end up just choosing to hire in-house Schottenheimer. So I mean,
and that's,
I don't know what it is.
I think if that had been offered, there might have been several others in the league that had to decide they wanted to leave too. So I think the Cowboys' job would be a good one to have for the right people. And we'll see how it goes, though. I'm not throwing him under the bus yet. So Cowboys fans, you've got to be loyal.
Oh yeah, you do.
So,
yeah, you do.
I've been a fan for 53 years. I guess I come out of the womb a fan. That's the only team I've ever really pulled for. And there's been some good years and there's been some really bad years. So I've hung in there. So I'm going to still believe. And you can call me crazy if you want to, but if you're a fan, you're a fan.
I always love the first interview I have with Coach Jones at the beginning of every year. I ask him how the Cowboys are going to do. Always, every year, Super Bowl. He said that's the mindset. You got to go to the Super Bowl every year.
We've got a bunch of Cowboy fans here, so maybe there's something wrong with us out here at South Greene.
You got a bunch of Cowboy fans everywhere, though. That's really a well-liked team, though, because you walk into any establishment and you ask who your favorite team, you're probably going to get at least one or two Cowboys fans there.
I agree.
But speaking of the Super Bowl, we've got the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks. It's a rematch, the Chiefs and the Eagles. Who you got this time?
I'm going Chiefs. How could you bet against the Chiefs?
Yeah, you're telling me.
That's two-peat, going for a three-peat. Basically the same team. And I don't know, if I'm looking up and I've got Patrick Mahomes back there, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. I'm going to have to put my money on Patrick Mahomes.
This could be the first time in the Super Bowl era that a team has won 3 straight championships.
Yes, sir.
There have been multiple that have made it to 3 straight, but we've never had a team win 3 straight Super Bowls.
It's tough. You look at that, that's impressive. The NFL's full of athletes, and anything can happen. People get hurt. It's a physical game. To keep people healthy enough to be able to do that for 3 years in a row, it's pretty impressive.
It is an
Just
impressive
to get there for
accomplishment,
3 years in a row is impressive.
7 straight AFC championship games, too. That's
they
crazy.
know what they're doing, and they're well coached. Andy Reid, he's proven himself everywhere he's been.
He has. It's crazy he went to a Super Bowl with the Eagles, too, and people forget about that. Now he's got an opportunity to beat the Eagles again. I'm sure he prepares a little bit harder when it's the Eagles.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does.
You want to beat your old team.
Absolutely, especially since they fired him, too. It wasn't like they told him, like, hey, go. It was like, hey, we need somebody
It's bad,
else.
isn't it?
Yeah.
No, you got fired and you went someplace and you're getting ready to go for your 3rd straight Super Bowl. So
And your 3rd straight could be a 2nd Super Bowl over your former team, too.
Sure would.
So Andy Reid's got a pretty good story going on for him. But, Coach, that's all I've got this week. Once again, congratulations on the Hampton win. Up there tied for 1st in the district now. Next time we sit down, who knows, we could have an upset where you're up there in sole possession of 1st now.
That's what we're hoping for.
But, Coach, until next time, once again, I appreciate you sitting down with me. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Terry Hoese Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.